Maria Imelda Josefa Remedios Imee Romualdez Marcos-Manotoc, born on November 12, 1955, is a seasoned Filipino politician and former film producer. She has served as a senator since 2019 and previously held positions as Ilocos Norte's governor from 2010 to 2019 and the 2nd District Representative from 1998 to 2007. She is the daughter of the late President Ferdinand Marcos and Imelda Marcos, and is the older sister of current President Ferdinand Bongbong. Marcos Jr. Maria has an estimated net worth of $5 million. Early life and background. Imee Marcos was born in Mandaluyong, Rizal, now part of Metro Manila. She grew up alongside her 3 siblings, Bongbong, Irene, and adopted sister Amy. She turned 10 shortly after her father's 1965 election victory. In a 1999 interview, she described Malacanang Palace as an overly formal and restricting environment for children. While living at the palace, Imee initially attended mainstream schools in Manila. However, due to security issues and protests against her family's regime, she had to stop schooling for some time. These protests often turned violent, reflecting the public's unrest under the Marcos dictatorship. Controversial education history. Imee Marcos's academic credentials have sparked ongoing controversy, particularly during her 2019 Senate run. Primary and secondary schooling. She began schooling at Institution Teresiana, now St. Pedro Poveda College, and later transferred to the Convent of Our Lady of Assumption, both in Metro Manila, before moving to the American School in Makati. Marcos later claimed she graduated valedictorian from Santa Catalina School in California, but the school confirmed she only briefly attended and did not graduate. Undergraduate studies at Princeton. In 1973, she enrolled at Princeton University, taking courses in religion and politics. However, she withdrew multiple times and never completed a degree. Despite her repeated public claims of graduating with honors, Princeton's official records do not show her as a graduate. Protests by student groups at the university also highlighted her controversial admission as the daughter of a dictator. Investigations later revealed her education abroad, including tuition and allowance, was funded using public money from Philippine government accounts, as uncovered by the Presidential Commission on Good Government. False academic credentials. Marcos has been widely criticized for falsely claiming she graduated with honors from Princeton and later, the University of the Philippines, College of Law. Her campaign materials and official documents during her time as a lawmaker included these false academic accomplishments. Princeton, in 2019, again denied awarding her any degree. Her enrollment at Law in 1979 also stirred public dissent. Marcos had no verifiable bachelor's degree, a requirement for law school admission. Despite this, she was admitted, allegedly due to political pressure. When she failed to complete all required courses, refused to officially graduate her. Nevertheless, a staged graduation ceremony, reportedly pushed by her powerful parents, was held. Former Law Dean Froilan Bacungan later admitted the event was misleading and that she was never eligible to graduate or take the bar exam. Marcos also claimed to have earned a master's in management from the Asian Institute of Management (AIM), but the institution denied ever offering such a program or conferring that degree. Personal life and relationships. Imee Marcos is the eldest child of Ferdinand and Imelda Marcos. Besides her known siblings, she reportedly has half-siblings from her father's earlier relationship with Carmen Ortega of La Union. She married golfer and former basketball coach Tommy Manotoc. Their union was controversial because Manotoc's previous divorce was not recognized under Philippine law. Together, they have 3 sons, Fernando Martin Borge, a model and DJ, Ferdinand Richard Michael Mike, a lawyer, and Matthew Joseph MJ, the current governor of Ilocos Norte. She also had stepchildren, including TV personality TJ Manotoc. In 2000, a film producer named Cesar Bendigo, reportedly in a romantic relationship with Marcos, was killed in an ambush by rebel forces. After separating from Manotoc, she entered a long-term relationship with Singaporean businessman Mark Chua in the 1990s. Both were later implicated in the 64.5 million Cuban pesos Ilocos Norte tobacco excise tax fund scandal. Career. Rise during the Marcos dictatorship. Imee Marcos, along with her siblings Ferdinand Jr. and Irene, was abroad pursuing her education when Ferdinand Marcos declared martial law in 1972. Despite staying overseas, she returned during holidays. By age 18, the legal age of majority in the Philippines, she began participating actively in her father's authoritarian regime. She held key positions, such as the national chair of the Kabatang Barangay, and later became a representative in the Batasang Pambansa, Kabatang Barangay, and political entry. After studying at Princeton University, though her graduation remains unverified, she was appointed in 1977 as chairperson of the Kabatang Barangay Foundation. This appointment stirred controversy after student Archimedes Trajano publicly questioned her leadership and was subsequently found tortured and dead. Imee was later held legally responsible for the incident in a U.S. court. Legislative and media roles. In 1984, she was elected as Assemblywoman for Ilocos Norte, serving until the 1986 People Power Revolution ousted her family. Simultaneously, she took on media-related roles, serving at the National Media Production Center and directing the Experimental Cinema of the Philippines, ECP, where she approved the production of films known for provocative content to financially sustain the institution during economic decline. Lavish lifestyle and alleged abuses. The Marcos family's opulent lifestyle drew public ire, particularly Imee's private homes, extravagant purchases, and anecdotes, such as using government planes to deliver breast milk from Europe to Manila. Universities bent rules to accommodate her, including installing air conditioning in classrooms. All these pointed to unexplained wealth inconsistent with the family's official financial declarations. Pre-1986 media and publishing work. Imee engaged in media production before her family's fall from power. She produced children's shows like Kulit Bulalit and Kalusko's Musmos, co-produced the country's first full-length animated film Tadhana, and contributed to print media through publishing and editorial work for several outlets, including Metro Magazine. Exile and return. Following their ousting, the Marcoses fled to Hawaii with U.S. assistance. Imee, with her family, lived under U.S. government protection before relocating to private homes in Honolulu. They returned to the Philippines in the 1990s under President Corazon Aquino's approval, facing multiple legal cases. Political resurgence. In 1998, Imee made her political comeback as Congresswoman of Ilocos Norte's 2nd District. She served until 2007, then became governor of the province in 2010, defeating her cousin. She was re-elected in 2013 and 2016. Her influence helped revive the Marcos political dynasty, despite constitutional restrictions on dynasties. Involvement in fund misuse and offshore accounts. Imee faced allegations of misusing tobacco excise taxes as governor, particularly for purchasing overpriced mini-trucks without public bidding, many tied to her partner, businessman Mark Chua. Moreover, she was named in the Panama Papers, linked to offshore accounts not declared in her mandatory wealth disclosures. Connection to Swiss foundations. In 2018, the Sandiganbian convicted her mother, Imelda Marcos, of graft. Imee and her siblings were named beneficiaries of 2 Swiss foundations used to hide public funds, contributing further to the unresolved allegations of the Marcoses' hidden wealth. Senate career and controversies. Winning a Senate seat in 2019, Imee pushed for various bills, including amendments to adultery laws and COVID-related procurement reforms. Despite legal issues and criticisms of her fabricated educational background, she remained politically active. Her 2025 re-election campaign was endorsed by Vice President Sara Duterte, and she won the last Senate seat. Allegations of historical distortion. Imee Marcos has been accused of minimizing or denying the human rights abuses during her father's dictatorship. She has often claimed to have been too young to be involved, despite being 30 when the regime ended. Her move on remarks regarding martial law sparked outrage from youth groups and civil society organizations who continue to demand justice, refusal to apologize, and denial of wrongdoing. Despite court rulings like the Trajano case, Imee has consistently denied any wrongdoing by her or her family. She claims that the accusations are politically motivated and refuses to acknowledge any crimes committed during her father's rule. Thank you for watching and kindly subscribe, like and share this video to family and friends.